Wendy Williams accuses Kevin and his mistress of defrauding her.
This backwoods Barbie, he was tricking up money. She's in the passenger seat of my Rolls Royce Ferrari. And, really? Really? And our son's in Miami. So I have to be calm on the phone with him, like a loving mother. I have to be happy on the TV every morning live from New York.
Wendy Williams has been through a lot. We may sometimes frown upon her when she speaks negatively about certain people in the industry, but she didn't deserve to be cheated and scammed by her own husband and his mistress. Now that she's returning to the limelight, will she finally expose her ex-husband? Will she call out her ex-husband and stop him from continuously using her name to boost his image? Recently, Wendy's ex-husband, Kevin Hunter Jr., did an Instagram Live and talked about Wendy's health. He was also praising his mistress, Sharina Hudson.
I need to, we went through our own situation, and, they had to deal with weed. As far as his mom, everybody's going to have questions, and I'm not going to dwell on that. She is getting the help that she needs.
People went wild because it looked like Kevin and Sharina were taking advantage of Wendy's absence to win their sympathy. Wendy's fans were quick to respond that this was not all new, and Kevin loved to think that he was the main reason for his former wife's success. So now everybody is targeting Kevin to be held accountable for all the things he has done that caused pain and misery to Wendy, from cheating on her to using her for her money to marrying his mistress. On top of all these, he left Wendy in an unstable condition and on the brink of death.
I had nobody again to talk to, but the times now were even deeper than they ever were in my life. I couldn't call my mom, my dad, my sister. They would have just said, just leave. And I'm like, but I'm still in love. I don't know what to do. Like, are you serious with this?
When it comes to Wendy Williams, you either love her or hate her. But with everything that has been going on in her life, people have looked at her differently. We're all sorry for her, and we only realize now how much we needed her opinion, especially in light of recent celebrity events. We wanted to hear her words about Kanye's recent backlash, Tia Mowry's divorce, or the Balenciaga scandal. We wanted to know more, and Wendy was the only one who could easily spill the tea without feeling bad about it. In 2021, Wendy Williams left her own show, The Wendy Williams Show, due to medical complications from her thyroid condition and a COVID-19 infection. Sherri Shepherd, a former co-host of The View, took her place. While Sherri received positive feedback from the viewers, many of Wendy's loyal fans were hopeful that she would be okay and be back again to do the show. However, several sources claim that Wendy would never go back to doing any shows because her health was getting worse by the minute. Her health was deteriorating, she had severe memory loss and was struggling to communicate. Many were worried and deeply concerned about this news because it sounded like she was on her deathbed. Everybody was relieved to hear that Wendy is well and will be making a comeback. However, some people were confused as to where the information about her deteriorating health came from. It looked like someone was spreading fake news about Wendy for unknown reasons. Fans suspected that it was Wendy's ex-husband, Kevin. He was the only person they knew who was capable of spreading lies about Wendy and taking advantage of her absence. While Wendy was away for treatment, Kevin turned to Instagram to talk about Wendy as if he were her agent. He had the nerve to use Wendy's name to gather views. He even made a special shout out to Sharina, whom he claimed to be one of the reasons Wendy's show was a success. But Wendy is about to make a comeback, and this time, she'll finally tell the whole world how Kevin and Sharina scammed her. Wendy admitted that she has struggled with substance addiction for years. She was also diagnosed with Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism. Her life was difficult. In 2019, she revealed on her show that she was living in a sober house. Only her ex-husband and son knew the kind of situation she was in. She talked about how her sober lifestyle helped her get back on her feet. However, just weeks after her revelation, she had a relapse and left the sober house. She was found drunk by her team a day later, but Wendy wouldn't allow her mistake to take over her life, so she went back to work right away. Perhaps her work was Wendy's solace, a place where she could be herself, be happy momentarily, and be surrounded with people who were thrilled to see her. In that episode, she talked about her marriage and how much she loved her husband. She told her audience that in marriage, it was normal to have problems and claimed that she would never part ways with her husband. However, Wendy filed for divorce from her husband of 20 years. What really happened in their marriage? It was rumored that the reason Wendy filed for divorce was because of Kevin's infidelity. News about his cheating has been circulating for years, and Wendy has never acknowledged this. Fans were saying that she was just turning a blind eye to her husband's infidelity because she was used to it, but what really really caused Wendy's breakdown was when she learned that Sharina was having Kevin's child. Wendy knew all along that Kevin cheated on her with Sharina for years, but she had no clue about getting them pregnant. Perhaps Wendy could tolerate cheating, but when there's a child involved, she doesn't want to be part of that. Apparently, Kevin was not through surprising Wendy with his foolishness. It was reported that Kevin was trying to scam Wendy out of her own money. When Wendy was in treatment, he was doing Instagram Live and singing praises to his mistress. He was just too excited about the idea that he could take advantage of Wendy now that she was out of the limelight. He never expected that Wendy would recover quickly, come back soon, and probably drag his name through the mud. On one occasion, Wendy even said that Kevin would wish that he had never met her after all he had done. The only reason Kevin cheated on Wendy was that he knew the consequences if he initiated the divorce. He knew that whatever money he could get from Wendy after their divorce would soon run out, and he had no other source of income other than Wendy's pocket. Sharina was pressuring Kevin to break up with Wendy and start their own family, but he would not dare. Kevin was being honest with Sharina about the fact that he could not leave Wendy because of her money. He couldn't take care of himself because Wendy was the one taking care of him and paying for all of his expenses. He could not stand on his own without Wendy's money. Kevin had access to Wendy's money because he was her husband and he took advantage of it. He got Sharina an apartment in Manhattan and rented a studio in Midtown for her business. Kevin also used Wendy's hard-earned money to finance Sharina as she studied to become a massage therapist. He also helped her to open a kiosk in a mall in North Carolina and set up a jewelry and clothing line. However, all of Sharina's businesses failed, but Kevin continued to financially support her using Wendy's money. Kevin was living a double life. In 2017, the Daily Mail reported that Kevin moved Sharina into a bigger and more lavish house just 9 miles away from the house he shared with Wendy. Wendy confirmed this news in her Lifetime documentary.
I read about it in the blogs and tabloids, the address of this place that he had purchased to share with this backwoods. I went to the house, a beautiful house with a 3-car garage, and I spray painted Kevin and Wendy forever. And to this day, it still is forever. Doesn't mean I love you. Not like that. Love don't live here anymore. I glued the mailbox closed with the Gorilla Glue. What do you do when you find out your marriage is about to be all the way over?
Kevin has been cheating on Wendy for 10 years, but she still loves her husband. Wendy asked Kevin about the baby, and they had an argument that did not end well. When Wendy was in treatment, Kevin took Sharina on a romantic trip. People close to Wendy said that Kevin had no care for her, and he did not show any signs of concern about her health. He kept on scamming Wendy and using her money to pamper his mistress. It even reached a point where Kevin was controlling Wendy and separating her from all her friends and family. He was so secure that he had to manipulate Wendy. When he did Instagram Live, he was all praise for Sharina, showering her with compliments and basically telling everyone that they were a family, including Wendy. Fans were not happy with Kevin because everyone knew that he and Sharina were the reasons Wendy had a breakdown. They were the cause of her heartbreak and pain. Their actions and decisions had broken Wendy. It's a cool thing that Wendy is coming back. Her rep announced that Wendy had left the rehab and is now recovering and getting better at home. Wendy's also excited for her return and is looking forward to the future projects lined up for her. Nothing has been confirmed about whether she's going to be back to her talk show, but one thing is certain, Wendy will be having her own podcast. Fans are happy and excited for Wendy, and they are hoping that Kevin will leave her alone and stop using her. Stay tuned for more videos. Are you not entertained? If you are, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.